Okay, so here's a walk around on the 2001 LaPalma, your coach. So first thing is when you're storing the coach, there's a disconnect switch for the battery, which is located in this compartment, which is right here. So when you're storing the coach, you're going to want to turn this off so that way nothing is going to drain the battery when it's being stored. So the first thing you're going to do is turn this on. Okay, now we can start the engine from here. Now there's also another disconnect switch for your house for the coach itself, which is located right here. You have two separate sets of batteries, one for the engine and then one for the house in here, which will turn all the lights on. So it's a good idea to turn this on while you're driving, so that way the alternator will recharge the whole system. So as you can see, I turn that on and then the lights come on. And now you can leave these lights off if you'd like. You can just turn them off manually, so that way if you don't want to, you don't need the lights, you don't need to have them on. So now we can come over here and we can start the engine. Okay? So, you go on your trip. When you get to where you're going, now you're going to want to level the coach and put the slides out. So how you do that, when you get to where you're going, you're going to put the parking brake on first, leave the engine running. You're going to come over here by the automatic levelers over here. You're going to turn the system on. Say green light, come on. And now you're going to want to level the coach manually. So right here, rear jacks. You'll feel it bump a little bit when the jack hits the ground. There we go. Put down the right rear one. Thanks for leveling out there. Now we put the front jacks down. Okay, so what this is going to do is going to keep the coach stable while you put the slides out. There's a little bubble there. You can see when it's actually level. There we go. Okay, now you can shut your engine off. And now it's time to put the slides out. You always want to level the coach before you put the slides out, so that way the coach is even. So your slide out control for the front room right here. Here, you go ahead and push that out. You'll see the slide going out here.
Too dark.
Okay, it'll stop automatically. You'll see it comes flush to the floor. So there's no step up here. And then you have the second slide out in the back. And this button is located right here, right inside the bedroom. Turn some. Okay, we push this one out. And you'll see that now the bed is going to go out the opposite direction that the other one went out. Okay, now you're all set up. Okay, so now that we have our slide outs out, in order to work all the electricals on the inside, like the microwave, your air conditioning, you have to have the generator on. Now, since we're shipping the coach over to Hawaii, we don't have any fuel in it because of the shipping. So what you do is you have the generator start. You push this. It'll probably just run for just a second or two. Okay, it's not going to run because there's no fuel in here. Once your fuel gauge reaches a quarter tank, which this one is about 1/8 of the tank. Once it reaches a quarter tank, your generator will not run anymore, so that way it doesn't drain you out of fuel. You can at least get to the gas station. So this is where you'd start your generator from. And then if you want to turn on your air conditioning, you have one panel right here. Right in the back here, and you can see it's residential style, so all you do is just turn it up to cool auto, and then you can adjust your temperature right here. Now there's also a heat pump on the unit as well, so if it's in colder weather, you turn on heat, auto, and then obviously you can adjust your temperature here as well. Okay, and then you also have a second AC in the back, which is right above the slide switch, right here as well. Heat pump or air conditioner. Okay. This switch here for your bedroom. This will turn your bedroom light on or off. Now the ceiling light here is if you get out of bed in the middle of the night and you want to get something out of the kitchen, you could turn the coach lights over here on and off from the bedroom. Okay. In the bathroom, in order to use your water on the sinks or on the toilet, you have to turn the water pump on. There's a water pump here. You can hear it running. Now you'll have water. You turn that off, it's just going to use the rest of the pressure in the system, and then it'll stop, like it's doing now. Okay, so whenever you want to flush the toilet or anything, or use the sinks, you have to turn the water pump on. So everything in here is mostly residential. It's not any different than you would have in your home. Your shower, you have your standard hot and cold fixtures in the shower. And then same thing for your sink, the hot and cold water tabs. Medicine cabinet. And then your extra storage up here for your breaker boxes, fuse panels, and a little storage cabinet here. Now if you do trip any circuits, this is the first place to check. It's a residential style breaker box, so this will be the first place you want to check if anything happens to turn off unexpectedly. And then here is fuses, which are all marked here. Okay, to find out if something fuse popped at all. And that's where they're located, right in the bathroom, back cabinets. Okay. Now your vanity. You switch up here for your lights. Okay. You have a little place to sit down. Get yourself ready, or if you want, you could open this up and you have the window behind it. Okay. This is also your emergency window. So in the event you need an emergency exit, you pull these two levers up, and you push the window out. You have an emergency exit over here as well. Plus your standard day-night shades. Okay, our little tiki cabinets in here. This was an add-on by the previous customer. And you have in the back right here, you have another wardrobe here. And then also these will turn your lights on both sides. Okay. Your refrigerator. Come into the galley here. You have the big refrigerator, the 4-door refrigerator, and you also have, get the camera to come on this side here, you have an ice maker on this side. Okay, so now this is the dual-way fridge, a 2-way refrigerator, which means it'll run off of either propane or electricity. So what you do is you come here, you're going to turn the unit on. It'll say automatic or AC, so it's going to, if you're not running the generator or plugged into the shore power, it'll run off of propane. When you plug in the shore power or you turn the generator on, it'll automatically switch over to electricity, so it saves you propane. So and then you just hit your mode button. So if you just want to run it only on a shore power or a generator, turn it to AC, or you can have it run specifically off of propane. I usually just leave it on automatic, so that way it decides for itself. We call it the smart fridge. And to turn it off, you just press the off button and hold it. It'll shut off. Now, over here, right behind the refrigerator, is your half bathroom up front.
Oh, 1.5 bathroom.
Same thing, porcelain toilet, but you have all your water pump. You turn on here. You have 2 different grade tanks on here. I'll go over that in a little bit. But this right here is your test levels. This is going to tell you your levels of your tanks. So right now we have 2/3 of a tank of propane, 3/4 of a tank of fresh water, and then our holdings are going to be empty just a little bit before we ship the coach. Okay. Now back in the kitchen area, the galley. This is not something you normally see on a motorhome. This is a residential style dishwasher. Wow. Normally we don't see these. This is another custom job. Usually there's a washer dryer that goes here. The previous owner wanted a dishwasher instead. So you have your dishwasher. little pantry space up here. Under here you have your range, your 3-burner range. These are standard output burners. This is a high output burner if you have a bigger pot that you need to boil water on, or in my case, cook pasta. Okay, we're back.
Yes.
So, you have your dual sinks, all our 70-30 sinks, the small. Then when you flip these panels over here, have your cutting board. And these are residential style faucets on here, Price Pfister faucet. Pull out. The pull-out wand. Okay, this is your microwave / convection oven. Okay, so you can use this for your microwave, or if you need to bake anything, say you're out of propane, to use your standard oven down here. You can also bake in the microwave as well, so if you have brownies, or you can actually put a turkey in here, the convection oven uses circulating hot air, not the microwave, so that way you can bake whatever you need to in here. And there's an instruction booklet in your books and manuals that will give you instructions how to use this specific unit. Okay, your storage space. In front, your dinette is fixed at stationary dinette, so it doesn't fold down or go anywhere, so it's fixed there, plus your chairs. Underneath your couch, you have your hide-a-bed. Standard hide-a-bed, just pull it out, and you have a full queen-size bed. Okay. The front 2 seats will swivel around, so you have more living area.
What is it?
There's a lever right underneath here.
Right hand side.
You pull that, and the seat can swivel around. Swing.
All the way to the front.
So from here you have your lever, and then you make sure your seat bag is up, and then this will swivel around as well. Okay, that's your basic walkthrough on the inside of the coach. I'm gonna shut everything down in here, and I'll do a walk around on the outside of the coach, show you some of the components on the outside and how to use those. All right. One of the big advantages with having this coach too is that if you look at the tires on here, you have the much bigger chassis. It's a 22,000-pound chassis, which you have the bigger 22.5-inch tires. So the ride's going to be incredible on the coach. Also, what that's going to give you is this pass-through storage. This unit passes through all the way to the other side, as does this front compartment as well. You can see it passes right through to the other side. So if you have longer items, tables, chairs, anything that you want to store in here, you can store them right in the storage compartments here. Also, all of these compartments, the process is called rotocast. It's made out of one piece. So there's no seams in here that's going to allow road dust or leaks to get in here while you're driving down the road. Alright, this compartment is your propane tank. Okay, it's a 33-gallon propane tank. Obviously, you just go to a gas station and the attendants there will fill it up. This is where you fill it from. This is where you turn your master switch on or off from. Okay, you have propane, so if the propane doesn't work on the inside, come out here and make sure that your your dial is on. And then you have an extra storage compartment right above. And back to the rear compartment. Another storage compartment back here. Okay, now these are the two batteries that run everything inside of the coach. Not the engine, but inside of the coach. There's also a disconnect switch here, so we have two disconnect switches. This is your main one. So again, when you're storing the coach, you want to make sure that you turn this off. Out here, this disconnects right from the battery, so if there's anything like an LP leak alarm, anything on the inside is not going to drain your battery. When you want to use the coach, just turn it on.
Okay.
So the storage compartment back here, that's the power inverter for your shore power. I'll go over that in just a minute. And we've got a storage compartment in the back. You have 5,000-pound tow hitch on here. If you need to tow any vehicles or anything, you have 5,000-pound tow hitch right here with your plugs for your trailers, your brake lights, whatever have you. And come out on this side. If you're going to be in any RV parks at all, this coach runs on 50 amp service, which looks like this. Okay, so if you plug this into 50 amp shore power, everything will run inside of the coach. You don't have to run the generator for anything. It'll run both air conditioners, the microwave, the dishwasher, everything that's inside of the coach. Okay, if you don't have 50 amp shore power, there's an adapter that goes onto this, which is inside your starter pack that's on the couch over there, which will reduce this down to a 30 amp service, which is basically your dryer line, 220 line. So then you'll be able to run one AC instead of both ACs, but it'll run everything else as well inside of the coach. We'll hook up here for a telephone line or a coax cable right here. Okay, this is everybody's fun part of the coach. Your dump station. This is where you handle all your sewer lines. Okay, you do have a heated compartment, so that way if you're in cold and wet, well, it doesn't get cold in Hawaii, but in the event you need to turn the heater on, this will keep the storage compartment warm, so that way these lines over here are not going to freeze up. Okay, so what you do here, you have what's called a gravity dump. You remove this cap. There's a hose that's also inside of this starter pack. You're going to hook on through here. And then the hose, it's like a slinky hose. It'll go right to the sewer, the drain. So what you do there, when you hook that hose up, then you're going to come over here and you're going to your liquid waste drain. You pull these valves, and then you'll pull these two valves, and so that way, whatever sink, shower, toilet that you're using, and we're in the coach, it'll be like your residence. It'll go right into the sewer. It's not going to collect in the holding tanks. Okay. So now, also, if you do collect into the holding tanks, when you get to your dump station, you hook the hose up just like this, and then you're going to pull these, and that'll dump your tanks. Now, there's also an extra black tank flush. What I mean by black tank flush is that on any kind of your gray water tank, which is called your liquid waste. Okay, that's the wastewater off of your sinks and your showers. Your solid waste drain is obviously everything else. Okay, so they put an extra black tank flush on here, so that way you're going to get all the residuals out. What you do is you take the hose line, your city water line, and you're going to put it in here. So you leave these sewer lines open. You hook up your hose line in here, turn it on, and that way it's going to give your black tanks an extra flush to get everything out. So that's your front toilet. This one's for the rear toilet. Okay. If you're going to be hooked up to water full time, you don't need to fill your fresh water tank up. What you're going to do is you'll hook your hose up to here, and this is a pressurized inlet valve that'll pressurize water to the entire coach. You don't have to worry about running your water pump on the inside. This will pressurize water to the entire coach. Now, if you want to fill your fresh tank up, you just turn this lever to where it says fresh water tank, and this will fill up your fresh water tank. Okay? These here you're going to store the coach, what you're going to want to do is take the water out of the lines that run to the specific faucets. So if you notice right here, you have water coming out here, and this is the water that's left just in the lines. So before you store the coach, you want to drain the water out of here so it doesn't get moldy over time. Storage light. You'd also turn your water pump on and off from right here, which the water pump is actually located right here next to the sewer line. That's your water pump right here. So you can turn that on or off from right here as well if you need to hose out the inside. Okay, this right here is where you fill gasoline up. Okay. Just regular standard 87 octane. You don't need to have premium fuel in here at all. Okay, so nothing special. Just remember that's on the driver's side of the coach. Nice thing about this here, that's the exhaust for your engine. This is the exhaust for your generator. So it's a nice thing. It's going to drain the exhaust right to your neighbors. You don't have to worry about smelling it on your camping site. Okay, stop it. Okay, now this storage compartment right here, if you notice, it only comes up this high because this is your slide out right here. So when this is out, it's not going to catch onto your storage compartment. That's why it only comes up this high. Okay. This is your generator. Okay, it's a 50 amp generator, 5,500 watt, or 5,000 watt generator. I'm going to tell you how many hours are on the generator. This right here is your hydraulic pump for your leveling jacks and also your slide outs. Okay, so the pump's very accessible if you ever have to do any kind of servicing on the pump or any of the lines. This is the other side of your pass-through storage. We'll talk about it on the other side. As is this. Okay, and this is another pass-through storage up here. Under here, if you take that panel off, you'll see these are just your fuses and your electrical connections for the chassis. There'll be no reason to have to go in there at all. Okay, so this unit also has the driver's side door. So it makes it a little bit easier to get out if you're filling station. So you open this up, and then you have this little step latch right here that flips up and down. Step here, and then get on your grab handle. Step here, grab onto your steering wheel, and then in. And the same thing with the first process. Grab handle, step down, and down. Up front, this is where you're going to do all of your pre-trip inspections. This is the battery for the engine. Okay, you have your air intake here. This is your radiator overflow tank. You'll check the level of the radiator right here. Right here, this red dial right here is your transmission fluid. This is your engine oil. That's where you fill your engine oil if it's low. This is your master cylinder for your brake fluid. And this is your windshield wiper fluid. So everything is right up front, very accessible, so you don't have to take the doghouse out or have to crawl anywhere just to be able to check the oils on the coach. So that's your basic walk around on the coach. And don't forget, before you go, when you're ready to leave, you have your slide outs in. And so when you start your engine, okay, you're going to see this little red light over here that says jacks down. Okay, so what you do is when the engine is started, turn the unit on again. This button here says retract all jacks. You hit that and you'll feel the coach bump a little bit because the jacks are starting to come up. When that light goes off, then you're ready to go. Okay, while we're waiting for those to come up, a few of the other features here, very automotive style. You have your headlights, your on-off switch with your headlights, and then your dimmer. Now, when you push this up to the top, it'll bring these little map reading lights on. You do have the dimmer switch. Okay, our jack's just one off, so now when the jack light is off, turn the unit off. Okay, you have electric mirrors. This is the control for your electric mirrors right here. So when you want to adjust the left mirror, you're going to push this to the left, then you can adjust your mirrors. Same thing with the right hand side. Okay. This button right here, if you're in a colder climate, you have heated mirrors on here, so they'll keep them from frosting up. This is for an accessory. If you add an extra accessory like a GPS unit, you could hook it into here, so this will be the master switch to turn it on and off. Auxiliary start. What that is, let's say that you accidentally turn this key back. Okay, instead of turning it off, you accidentally turn it back to the accessory position. So that means you're using your battery juice. Okay, so eventually this will drain the battery. In the event that happens, and your battery's dead, where you just hear click, click, click when you go to start the engine, what you do is you'll press the auxiliary start, and this will use your coach batteries to help jumpstart the engine. And you just release it. Here's your generator start, and this turns the radio on or off. You can kind of see on the display here. That just came on, now push that, and that'll shut it off. Air conditioning and heater controls, your fan speed. Now on this one, since you have a 6-speed transmission on here, you can elect it to, if you're climbing any hills, you can elect to turn your overdrive off. Your overdrive is turned off from here, not on the transmission. So if you want to turn the overdrive off, just press that button to off. We just generally leave it on the rest of the time. Now, when you're backing up, we put this in reverse. If you're going to notice, your camera automatically comes on. So there's a camera that's in the back of the coach that's going to show you how close you are to the next coach, to the coach behind you, whatever's behind you. Okay? When you go out of reverse, it'll shut it off. Now, if you want to have this on constantly, we just turn that on. Then there's also, you can hear that, there's a one-way microphone that's on the back. If somebody's behind you giving you directions, you're going to be able to hear everything they say from in the back of the coach. And then you have adjustments for your contrast and your brightness, day or night setting, and then power button. Okay? So hope this helped. If there's any other questions, feel free to get in touch with me. My name is Rocco. My phone number is 949-400-2997. If you have any questions about the coach, operating it, feel free to give me a call anytime. All right. Thank you. Happy trails.